Now, how can we protect rhinos? There are only about 28,000 in the wild, left in the world. And a new film invites us to wonder whether hunting them or allowing trade in their horns can actually be good for the species.
You know, I'm paying for this hunt. People are employed because we're hunting.
If there's no value and we can't hunt these animals, they're going to be extinct.
The commodification of wildlife, what a vision of nature that would be.
They like to talk about conservation, they're just greenwashing. They enjoy killing. The change is coming. We're going to put an end to this.
Surely we want our world to survive.
We have to keep this fight going.
This is my trophy, and there's not any bureaucrat that can take it away from me.
Well, that's a taster of the film Trophy, which is in cinemas and downloadable later this week. And it really looks at the money that can be raised and the habitat protected by allowing some of the commercial hunting. Or more intriguingly, the idea of farming rhino in order to sell their ivory. Now, clearly this has not been the traditional approach to animal protection. Joining me are John Hume, who claims to be the world's biggest private rhino breeder. He features in the film and wants to sell ivory that is humanely taken from the animals. Also with me is Tania McCrea-Steele from the International Fund for Animal Welfare. Very good evening to you both.
Good evening.
John, just tell us what you do. So you've got how many rhino on your ranch, I suppose you'd call it?
I have 1,538 as of today.
And you breed them?
I breed rhinos, and I believe that I have the recipe to save them from extinction.
Right. Which is?
Breeding better, protecting better.
Right. And the crucial bit that you want, which is you basically take off their horns. You don't kill them to take off their horns.
No, you only take off their horns like you take off your nails, cutting it off on the dead part that's not alive. So we trim their horns, and the day after we've trimmed them, it's worth so much less to the poacher.
The rhino is because it hasn't got much horn left. Yeah.
It's worth so much less for him to kill it and steal the horn. So it's necessary to make it less attractive to the poacher when he's still got the same amount of risk, the same amount of work, but much less reward.
But crucially, you want the money from selling the horn to pay for the whole operation.
Exactly. Now, having removed some of the horn by the horn trimming procedure, it is dangerous to store it and expensive to store it. Right. So why don't we use the money from the horn to save the lives of the rest of the rhino?
John,
because let
me put that question to Tania. I think we get the business model.
Yeah.
What is wrong with that as a business model?
Well, I understand that John is a businessman, and trading in rhino horn, let's face it, is profitable, and that's what's motivating all these criminals to change their criminal syndicates and focus on the illegal trade in rhino horn. Right. What we'll see with the sale going ahead is actually the demand for rhino horn being stoked. And we'll see an increase in an appetite for the trade in rhino horn. What we really need to do is we need to suppress that demand for the people.
You're legitimising a market in it, basically.
Yeah, and then it makes it nigh on impossible for both consumers who might buy into the greenwashing, but also for enforcers to tell the difference between a legal rhino horn and an illegal rhino horn. If you're buying a piece of rhino horn, find me one customer that's going to DNA test it before
whether
they
it's
part
John's
with their
or someone
money.
else's.
Yeah.
So look, the crucial issue here is whether a market in rhino horns legitimises the illegal market in rhino horns, John.
No banning has ever worked in the world. America learnt that lesson by trying to ban alcohol. We have given the market to the poachers. We've given them carte blanche. They've got no competition. All the business has gone to them because we've kept it away from the legal suppliers of rhino horn. And my rhinos will all be dead in 10 years if I don't finance keeping them alive.
That's simply not true. Back in the 80s, we saw an ivory ban come into effect, and we saw ivory poaching massively decrease. Then we saw a case being made for putting legal ivory market putting ivory back into circulation. And what we saw after that, which we prophesized, was that there was going to be a spike in poaching. That's exactly what happened. This has played out before with elephants. We need to make sure it doesn't happen again with rhinos. We're actually reaching a tipping point right now where we're getting the political momentum to tackle this problem, this is going to really be a backward step because we're on the verge of building a network to break a network.
Right.
There are elephant experts in Africa who will completely disagree with that and tell you a one-off sale is not the way to go, not in ivory or rhino horn. But obviously, I'm here to argue for the life of my rhinos.
But the interesting thing is that some say if you can let people make money out of a mammal, a big mammal, the big mammals will survive. And if you let people make money by killing big mammals, they will be extinct within a few generations.
It's a lovely idea in an ideal world, but we're dealing with the real world here. And this isn't just about the lives of the rhinos. This is about the lives of the people who are standing between the rhinos and the poachers to protect them because they want rhinos to be around for their children. They don't want to see them go the way of the dinosaurs. What we are doing at the International Fund for Animal Welfare is working with local communities to make sure that they can benefit from wildlife thriving on their doorstep and working on real tangible solutions.
We do need to leave it there. The film is called Trophy. Thank you both very much indeed. Well,